So there's a saying in venture capital about, are you betting on the jockey or the horse, right? And so people become so important because markets change. And so you have to have that right team that can navigate and see that opportunity. And so I love when entrepreneurs are so immersed in the area that they just become experts. And they don't have to have years of experience. You know, one of our, I would say, kind of local San Diego State entrepreneurs is Luke Sofinas from Korsky.
There are a lot of things that you can turn and use it as your competitive advantage, and VC love that. I love that. When people say, oh, you know, so I invested in Latin America. I know it's you know, I don't speak Spanish, but I happen to invest in Latin America in 5 countries, all Spanish-speaking countries, and a lot of them, they launch in the US, and then when they scale, they said, oh, you know, I'm just going to set up 50% of my operating team in a local region because the cost is lower. And that allowed me to penetrate into the market a little bit faster. Or, you know, I happen to know some enterprise company, right, that can be my customer in a local region. They would do the POC proof of concept with me.
Lots of people emailing us, trying to connect with us with pitches every day. And I think, you know, it is incredibly important to get that warm introduction, you know, and especially if you're sort of feeling, hey, I'm a female and, you know, we see where the VC dollars go. And there's unfortunately a lot of, you know, biases, right, that go towards the allocation of capital. And so I think being able to, you know, get a warm introduction and develop that network of sponsors is just going to be incredibly powerful.
So talking about venture capital, the landscape of venture capital is still evolving, especially for female founders and female investors. But I think one of the data that I really liked is the one that came out from PitchBook, saying that last year there were 23% of all VC money went to female founders or co-founders. And on the investment side as well, so we have founders we have the females not just only as founders, but starting VC funds. Actually, last year was a record-breaking number of female investors starting their funds. And a lot of those funds invest in female-founded companies. And I would think some of the increase in the female founders getting funding is having more funds that are also founded by females. And and we're going to talk about these topics today.
To move the needle and to create an impact in the society, if we don't generate financial return for investors, nobody invests in a fund and nobody gets to make impact. You are right. That impact investment can range from, say, one spectrum, which is nonprofit organization, say foundation, they want to give grants and whatnot, to the other spectrum, which is like high-risk asset class, which is venture capital asset class. Right, and those would invest in impact-driven area that has a social or environmental impact. And I am in this camp, okay, which is impact-driven VC. What I'm looking at, one, financial returns. To move the needle and to create an impact in the society, if we don't generate financial return for investors, nobody invests in a fund, and nobody gets to make impact. We are in this kind of category or space. With you know, PE, you can speak it the same way. We have to make money because we are not nonprofit. Founders come to pitch me and say, oh, this is an impact, but then, you know, the numbers is very, very low in terms of the expected returns. I cannot fund them because I'm still in the VC asset class. And I want to be competitive. And I want top-tier returns. And at the same time, I'm also demanding impact returns. So when I'm teaching this class to students, my students sometimes sweating, oh my God, this is really a lot. How am I going to find deals? But if we don't take this kind of challenge, the world will not move towards the impact-driven investment. Because the investors are still capitalist, and they're going to say, well, I don't want any trade-off. Because I can mobilize my fund to, you know, like BlackRock in PE, like crypto and whatnot, that I can generate higher returns. And that's why we don't see impact in the industry, and it's been far too long. So we are in the right place at the right time.